We're potting Rifftrax, Rifftrax.
Rifftrax.
And, oh, which, we're already smiling so wide. Which episode are we doing this time?
It's uh it's about a ghost and a baby. It's
It's
baby ghost.
not about a baby ghost. Like, that'd be too wacky. Ghosts are
A
wacky, babies
baby
are wacky.
ghost?
A baby ghost? What was the one thing? The assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford? Like, that was one of them.
And then I think they speculated, oh, of course, this all makes sense. It's the ghost of baby Hitler.
Yeah.
Just all these random drops for who the ghost could possibly be.
Okay. The first thing that we need to talk about, Joe Estevez. How how much do you love Joe Estevez at this point?
That'll really tell that'll really make your mileage for this movie. Your love or hate of Joe Estevez. I won't deny I'm indifferent, but I'm here for all the riffs where they spend so much time kicking him down. And
And
I'm here for it.
apparently he's a huge fan. Like, he loves when they do this. But I just loves it. Like, so many of them, I can barely think straight. But like, yeah, will Tim or Eric ever hire me?
And then they set the tone instantly with the whole baby ghost. I can't think of anything more horrible than a child, a poor innocent child, being forced to roam the land
Joe
for all
Estevez.
eternity. Joe Estevez! And they're just so frightened by the fact that Joe Estevez is a person, a human being who exists. Be afraid, be very afraid.
Mhm. There's so much. It is such a weird movie, and like, I know I always say that, but all of these movies are just beautifully, stupidly weird in their own way. This one, it's like Roller Gator, but without the humor or excitement, and a lot of it is just people dicking around in a office building. Not a nice one either. It's like a really
Nah,
crummy one.
I really like that they said some barely employed tax preparers live here, as yeah, it absolutely looks like that building. And I don't think that they probably only had rights to one floor, maybe two at most. Just I remember the Patreon talking about that this was kind of like a roller gator type situation,
Hmm.
but at least that had scenes and scenery. This just has
Yeah.
like one location. I just recall just how empty everything felt just because it's just one space. It looks like the exact same space you'd probably see a fan film filmed
Hmm.
in.
Like, even like a mid-level fan film would be nicer looking than this.
Yeah, in this case, I'm using fan film, the more pejorative term. I'm not, there are great fan films out there, but this would not be one of them.
Yeah, when I say fan film, I mean like pretty nicely made, like Batman Dead End. You know what I mean?
I'd say that's on the higher end of fan film.
Yeah.
That's higher end. This is like YouTube 480p
Yeah.
fan film.
This is like Channel Awesome.
Yes. And you
I've
think with
I have been listening to a podcast where they go over Channel Awesome, and it's it's very interesting.
But yeah, this is 100% a channel awesome, which is kind of sad because they were actually, the content it wasn't bad, but the
Yeah,
films are something else entirely.
the eyesores, really.
Uh-huh. So yeah, this seems like that. It's just a few LARPs shy of a channel awesome caliber film.
Hmm. The There's so many bizarre characters. Like there's the security guard that wears the Jalo gloves and looks like Freddie Mercury mixed with Shock G.
With his sexy, sex-oriented Velcro gloves, and he's called Paul Blart's Luigi at one point, even though I think he has more of a Waluigi face.
Yeah, oh, much more Waluigi.
Mm-hmm. So there's that, and then there's the fortune teller named after a Simpsons character,
And
partially.
I love how, and I don't know if they ever go into this, but it's like if she's an over the phone, if she's an over the phone, like working over the phone, why does she need to dress up like, the stereotypical Romani stuff? It's like I've known people who have worked for like phone sex chats that say like, yeah, I'll just totally like sweats the entire time. I'm like, of course,
Or the reverse of that when you had people really going into remote work and, everything from the torso up is decent.
Mhm.
Everything down, yeah, there's a reason you turn off the camera when when you get up. But yeah, it just felt like why do that? Why dress that way? We don't ever see. I mean, this office building looks so empty. It feels like the only guests there is the family that comes in at the very beginning.
Yeah, the really bizarre family.
Yeah.
The mom that doesn't do shit to discipline her kids, and the
Mm-hmm.
kids who are little bastards.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like how they sold just how much Joe Estevez is just this kind of down on his luck schmo, just with this kid. Just please don't burst that bubble, and just getting the gum all over his face, getting chocolate all over his face. Like I kind of admired it. I feel the kids had an assignment, the child actors, I should say, and they actually they hit it, hit the nail on the head.
Mhm. And the
You know.
the complicated bad haircut, because it's a Mo Howard with a rat tail. Did you
Mm-hmm.
notice that when he runs away at the end?
Yeah.
And
And
I didn't pick up on which video game it was that is, because I know it's like an Atari. I know it's like one of the handheld ones, like
hmm
the
they might have said it in the room. I don't think it is, but it'd be funny to think that it's the Tiger Electronics Sonic 3 game.
yeah, Tiger Tiger Electronics. That was, I give them credit for like making do with what they had.
hmm
It was like, hey, can we make a video game with 4 images? Fuck you, of course we can.
And how you could always see on screen the exact images that where the placement is. Like even if you have the system off, you can see exactly, oh, where's Batman supposed to be? Where's Spider-Man? Where's whoever the licensed character
Yeah.
is going to be? Where they throw like three objects against foes or something. So I enjoyed. I don't know. Tiger. They weren't good video games. They weren't.
They
They were
weren't, but
fun.
like kind of
Like
the little engines that they could. Like
they So they're working on limits, and they also felt like the junk food of video games. They're not good, but when you get that craving, and
Hmm.
nothing beats a little drive through to the Radio Shack and just picking up a Tiger Electronics game.
Yeah. Let's see. One of the things that made me laugh is Conrad Brooks, who, I mean, guy knows how to laugh at himself and market himself. Like, look, think about it. Um, in this movie, his character is reading a Gen 13 a comic, and it's Gen 13. Like
Hmm.
you can see Free Fall and like Burnout and everyone else. And the thing is, and he's doing the thing of in movies when a character is reading a comic book, no matter what type of comic book it is, like superhero, whatever, they're always laughing at it as if it's a comical book. Um, he seems like the type of guy that would laugh at Gen 13. Oh,
Yeah, I can see that.
uh, oh, that Rainmaker's hitting on another woman, and then another, and then another. It's kind of like she's not very well written. Sorry, I got a little bitchy there about 90s comics. I'm sorry.
For me, I don't know. I always think of what Darius says. Don't make references to better movies.
Mhm.
This has an interesting spectrum of movies that it references in the movie. So not Mike, Kevin, Bill.
Yeah,
Um,
they
the
mentioned.
main one, the main one that's obviously trying to capitalize on is Ghostbusters.
Mm,
Man, it goes in depth, like solid 2-3 minute rant on the UFOs from outer space, or
mm.
what's obviously Plan 9 from outer space.
But it's like, why couldn't it's public domain? You can just say Plan 9. Like, it's such a weird
I
kind of choice.
and why again, I feel like Darius hits the nail on the head. Don't reference better movies, and I do think Plan 9's the better movie.
Much better
uh,
than this one.
yeah, so it's kind of amusing. I respect it because it's clear that it's not taking itself so seriously, and I don't
Yeah.
think you can when you have the chroma key puppet ghost that looks like a rejected Slimer.
Like, why did they chroma key the puppet instead of? It made it look so bad.
I really don't know since they clearly had the puppet. If they just held it up on some like fish hooks, that might have looked better.
By the way, when I was drinking this, I realized, and this is my podcasting milkshake. And yes, that's the fattest fucking thing you're ever gonna hear in your life. My podcasting milk. Mm.
Enjoy that podcasting milkshake.
No, it's ours.
Describe the mouthfeel of the podcasting milkshake.
Uh, Creamy and smooth.
Sadly, I don't have too much colorful props around me today, so I have nothing at this stage, not in arm's reach. That's something, no, not something as refreshing as the podcasting milkshake. But
What else about this goddamn film? Like I mean, you always fall back on Joe Estevez because
hmm
he's so fun. He has such a sense of humor about himself. I mean, if you watch, the majority of Tim Heidecker stuff, you realize how funny it can be. You realize, that he doesn't take himself too seriously, that he's very jolly. Um, Someone I knew said like, and they worked with him. It's like he's so sweet, and I think that really comes off
Mm-hmm.
like in everything he does. There's kind of the old vaudevillian, the grumpy, happy guy. He's big and fat and merry, but he's always grumpy. Oh, why are you doing this? That kind of thing.
This particular role felt like he was just filled with a lot of passive aggressive aggression in terms of like how he carries himself, and it was done in a humorous way. It's not like he's so vindictive. No, it's just like he's visibly frustrated by dealing with this idiotic family that he passively curses out the end. Like
Mhm.
very like he definitely is on the passive side of that aggression. He doesn't really get much of a moment to shine, like to really show them. But he's you can tell he's very unhappy with his station in life, and if it didn't say it enough by him being someone who pays for phone psychics. But let's
Mhm.
be honest, he'd probably pay for another phone service.
Yeah, but let's not kink shame. Let's not shame. We don't shame here
I
at Movie
I
Magazine.
think I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, someone in sweats will call him up.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's very relaxing.
Yeah,
Be comfortable and be happy in the job you choose, which clearly Joe Estevez is not. And at least as the photographer. I'm
yeah.
sure as an actor he's having a blast.
Oh yeah.
Um I think there's an odd sort of charm in this movie. I think everyone, you know, once they read the Plan 9 monologue, I think everyone knew exactly what kind of movie they're in.
Hmm.
I can't help but think though that I was reading these reviews of Wuthering Heights and just how they pontificate and just really go full Victorian on saying things that would just take 1 sentence to say, 1 sentence to convey your idea, a short,
Hmm.
simple sentence. That kind of feels like this movie plot wise, where we have such like so we have like a 5 minute hallway scene with the hallway office for the security guard. Um, we've got all these extended we've got extended fortune reading. All these sequences just feel like they're really, really long and like there's not enough material to really warrant them being so long.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like I can see that they do, and if anyone cared enough to do this, they can make a fan edit of Baby Ghost with you know, just cut down the abridged version of Baby Ghost.
It really is like, guys, we have to make it to 65 minutes. Just.
Oh, just
Mhm.
really stretching. And on that note, what is the I get that they, you know, they stumble across, but what's the purpose? What does Baby Ghost do?
Infringes on a much better ghost character.
Yeah, that's basically the vibe I got. I guess that's why they chroma keyed that green. But it just feels so it's so dumb just seeing all these things that just this mischievous spirit that really just doesn't really seem to add much to the plot despite being, you know, the whole protagonist. Or
Mm,
not protagonist, but just the whole you know, the title character at least.
yeah. The characters that we didn't really go over were the weird Jay and Silent Bob guys.
Yeah, the wet bandits kind of wannabes.
Hmm. Yeah,
My thoughts are that they were there. They
yeah,
were a plot point. They
I mean,
were
you got Uncle Squanchy sticking a carrot into his ear or some fucking shit like that.
and you've got six nephews, no more, no less. And you wave around that nephew card around.
And also, you know your sister's measurements or some.
All right, that's how Baby Ghost gets out. Because Baby Ghost has sealed away a dark, ancient, forbidden evil from the 1600s that is held by a small little padlock type thing that
Mhm.
you just go the numbers and they're the mother's measurements. Also, when did we as a society collectively agree that those are a woman's measurements? Just going from chest, hip, waist. Just I don't know, but
It's weird.
I don't know, but that's the combination to unlock Baby Ghost.
Yeah, and that is even weirder. That A, that they know it, that that's what it is, that these characters are intertwined. Just so much dumb garbage in this movie, which I guess makes it, a little bit more fun.
It's really enjoyable garbage. Like I can't say there's any like good, like there's no good film cinematography. There's not the acting's kind of on the hokey side, but it's got a weird sort of, again, like I said, it has a charm to it. It's actually kind of funny, and it doesn't have pretensions of what it's supposed to be. I mean, I doubt you have any pretensions if you're gonna do a 2 minute monologue on Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Mhm.
So just seeing that kind of earnestness just kind of makes us feel like a fun home movie in some ways, like done right. Like Channel
Yeah.
Awesome kind of captures the home movie feel, but with all the negative kind of connotations there. Whereas this, it looks like a bunch of, like kind of like what Channel Awesome I think kind of tries to do is where it's making people who are just having a fun time. They're not here for, to make the next Citizen Kane. They're not here to even make the next Ghostbusters. They're just here to just kind of goof off and make this movie. And in that sense,
Mhm.
it kind of worked for me.
Yeah, kind of nice like that. And you kind of get the idea of like companies like uh, VH shit and stuff like that, which is good. They're in there's companies like that. Video Carnage, I think, is another one. Um, I really can't think of anything else to say about this fucking movie because there's not much to say. I didn't realize that there's not much to say about a movie that takes place on one floor.
hmm It's kind of, this isn't the British Museum. This is a lonely office building with a very narrow corridor that you're gonna see your tax preparer and no one else.
Yeah.
Speaking
So
of, can I just say that you know, um, I recently, did file my taxes and, I was waiting there for not very long. I love my tax preparer, but just the setting just feels like a slice of the 90s. It has
mm,
one of those big CRT TVs in the corner with that wood covered furniture, the kind that you just peel off and it just, the little wooden facade.
yeah.
Yeah, one of those with those
Those
awful
experiences.
speakers that your cats would shred to bits.
Hmm.
I don't know. The cat I'm staring at right now is a little too young to have torn away at those speakers. But if she'd been around, I have no doubt she'd be one of those. So it's just this capsule of the 90s and with a little magazine coffee table. I just love that. And speaking of tables, that one gross table out in the middle of the hallway with the the half-eaten sandwich. Just
Hmm.
it's such a pivotal establishing shot that even uh, Bill just voices his frustration because they establish it like several times in quick succession just to firmly establish we're at this desk.
Yeah, we're at
So,
it is.
well, with Baby Ghost, I guess one last thing would be just what did you think of the Baby Ghost itself?
It looked ugly, sounded kind of cool. Just a really morbid idea for one thing.
Yeah, especially since they do establish this ghost has been around since the 1600s, just for what was it like misbehaving or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So that gets really dark, but they never lean into that at all,
Hmm.
except for just well, it was written on a page, but they don't really lean in that oh, this is some really dark stuff going on. They just kind of gloss past it to have this little mischievous creature. And I don't know, I kind of find the Baby Ghost a little annoying, especially the song written for
Oh, the
Baby
song
Ghost.
is just terrible.
Uh-huh. So it just feels like I don't know the caliber of writing that may have gone into the cartoon All Stars or something like that in terms of
Hmm.
the song, without any of the charm of Simon talking about marijuana.
Yeah. Marijuana.
Marijuana.
What a weird thing. But that's another story. Uh, this has been Potting Rifftrax, and we have been hanging out,
Hanging out.
hanging out,
Hanging out.
down,
Hanging out with Ghost
hanging
Baby.
out, we getting our mom's measurements. Uh,
Hanging out. Hanging out.
down, hanging
Hanging
out,
out with Joe Estevez. Oh my God, it's Joe Estevez.
getting our Uncle Squanchy and putting a carrot in our ear.